Howdy guys, my name is Philip Vasenkov, and I once attended the institution of Milton High School. I was also once a pupil of Madame Susie Crowe herself. I'm currently employed in a place pretty far away from Alpharetta, Georgia, in Seattle, Washington, by a company called Amazon. I work in their cloud department. It's also known as Amazon Web Services, or AWS. And as much as I imagine myself as some sort of aeronautical cowboy wrangling herds of clouds all day, I'm a software engineer, and I work on a product called Kinesis. Kinesis allows customers to perform real-time data processing with anything from stock information to gaming events or even mobile notifications. There's quite a bit of infrastructure and plumbing required to allow, say, millions of devices, like mobile phones or web browsers, to funnel all of that into the cloud and give you second by second bird's eye view pictures of what's going on. For example, imagine having the power to react to surges in activity in real time. For example, you own a restaurant that sells grilled cheeses, and one day your grilled cheese sales just blow through the roof around noon. If you had a system that automatically detected your cheese levels and dispatched emergency cheese shipments to be drop shipped and parachuted from the sky, you could save the day, and your customers could continue to enjoy their grilled cheeses and be very happy repeat customers. And the whole, it'd be pretty freaking cool to drop ship cheese from the sky. I use my mind to help people. I write code to flesh out, support, maintain, and operate this big thing called Kinesis. If you imagine like this big hulking giant juggernaut that needs to have all his bolts constantly oiled and tightened while building cool new additions, it's a lot like maintaining a large service. My time is spent thinking about design, writing code, sitting in meetings to discuss the various technical details, and using my brain to debate the trade-offs of various decisions we've made. I really matter in this organization as people look up to my expertise, and it's a whole lot of fun to be productive and get things out the door. Honestly, I am astounded that somebody would want to pay me to do things that I would just normally do in my spare time anyways. I wake up every day for work exhilarated. How I got here. Age 5, I was doodling in kid pics, and if I could find that art now, it probably would be worth millions of dollars. And I was tearing it up in Oregon Trail. Age 10, I tried programming for the first time in HTML. Hated it. Swore I would never do it again. Age 13, I tried messing around with something called Linux. And for those who don't know, Linux is an alternative operating system, much like Windows or Mac OS X. Yeah, and I kept tinkering with it from then on, despite massive heaps of frustration and confusion. I kept bobbing back and forth between Windows and Linux. Age 15, there was an elderly gentleman. Let's call him Michael. He was a family friend, and he ran a home inspection business. And he was very slow at typing, so he would write up reports and hand them over to me. I would type them up and then email them back to him, and he would pay me a very fat sum of $10 an hour to do this. And I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I asked my mom, "Hey mom, what should I be?" And my mom gave me a very biased answer because she's an accountant. She said, "Be an accountant." My dad decided one day to take me to work, and his boss employed me on an unpaid internship over the summer, learning a programming language called Perl, and building an application with it to automate this little business that I had created, transcribing handwritten documents. By the end of the summer, I considered myself to be proficient in Perl, and I had this thing that I could put on my resume. I wrote an application. Age 18, I didn't get into GT because of my poor SAT scores, which I still consider a blessing in disguise, because while all my friends were losing the Hope Scholarship due to course rigor, I was attending the cheaper GPC alternative acing my classes and boosting my GPA. About age 20, I transferred to GT from Perimeter, and I saw a flyer in the halls for a need in Linux administration at the Research Institute of Georgia Tech. Ridden with fear, I signed up and I got the job, and I got to play around with Linux, very much so like I did in the past, just by myself. But now people were paying me for it, and I was supporting the research of some serious bigwigs, researching things for the Department of Defense and DARPA. I continued with a nonstop computer science course track at Georgia Tech, and for the remaining 2 years of my bachelor's, it was some of the most fun and most stress I've ever had, as can be seen by my beautiful receding hairline. I was doing mostly software stuff, and then towards the end I tried some low-level hardware stuff, with the ones and the zeros, especially the ones, and I hated it. I swore I would never do it again to my teaching assistant. At age 22, I fell in love with the hardware side of things and decided to pursue a master's degree in it just for sheer giggles. I did it, and I ended up working on several cool projects along the way, along with this project that I worked on that involved cutting-edge compiler analysis of the ones and the zeros. And comically, this was right alongside the same TA that I swore to previously that I would never do hardware stuff. Coincidentally, I also worked on some of the same research that I supported as a Linux cluster administrator at the Research Institute. And I worked on some of the same Department of Defense stuff that's too scary to mention. Nowadays, computer science is a passion and a hobby. I really enjoy it because I have ultimate control in this little box known as a computer, and I have the ability to see something that I want and I make it. And this is becoming increasingly more important in a world where computers are everywhere. To give you a couple examples, I got together with some college classmates for a course project, and we created this Subway application for mobile phones that would allow you to build the sandwich while, say, you're in class or you're on a bus and you're not actually at the Subway shop. You would build your sandwich, and after getting a very thorough breakdown of the nutritional contents of your sandwich, you can then send the order off to Subway and have your sandwich built and be ready for you to pick up whenever you actually make it to the sandwich location. Another example, I love music a lot. A lot. And I constantly spam my friends and on Facebook via private message or on my wall with songs that I think they would really like and would enjoy. And I realized that this was overwhelming them to the point where they weren't even listening to it, to my stuff. And so I'm writing an application that allows people to just right-click and buffer things that they want to listen to later, so that they're not pressed to listen to it right then and there, or else they would forget to listen to some song. Why should you take a computer science course? Well, a couple of reasons. One, it would open your mind to new things. All of these classes that you take in high school and hopefully college that you think absolutely has nothing to do with your major, they serve as mental tools and facilities to think about things in many different lights. To step out of the box, for example, I took accounting in high school, and the things that I learned as far as financial literacy goes helped me save money better, set up proper budgets, help others with their financial needs, because frankly they just didn't have the same knowledge. It also helped me navigate the murky waters of 401ks and mortgages and all that other mumbo jumbo fine print that nobody ever understands. And to apply that back to computer science, imagine having that same kind of insight just with one course about all the things around us that are computers. And on that note, computer science is a pretty low-hanging fruit. If you're going to open your mind and learn about something new, why not learn about something that could open a very lucrative and constantly intriguing and evolving field of science, with applications in space travel, automotive engineering, graphics and animation, finances, biological computation, all of these things allowing the human race to try and benefit from a little technology we created called computers that evolve exponentially. People know that computer scientists are needed everywhere, and employers will literally try to pull you in by your arms and legs. My advice to you, try something new. Life is all about accidents, and you'll never know anything about computer science if you never try.